YouTube family, welcome back to another video. Today we got a topic I've been wanting to discuss about for a while now, especially since the whole markup thing came about and the C word came out and everything's expensive and blah 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 blah. I'm just coming over a cold, I had a fever, I'm eating some Ricolas right now, so voice may not sound too high up there. Doing what I gotta do. You probably click this video because one, doing research, you're trying to buy a new car and you hear about this whole markup thing, trying to understand it a little bit more, or you already bought a car and you have to pay a markup, or you were gonna buy a car but then you seen the car was marked up, you said no, and trying to see what the heck is going on. The reason why I want to make this video is because I think a lot of people are misinformed out there in the world. You know, I've been reading about this, I'm watching videos about it, a lot of YouTubers making videos about it, how dealerships are robbing people, they're stealing from people, they're gouging, aka stealerships, all stuff like that. Now, I want to talk about this topic from experience. I've been a sales consultant for almost 7 years now. I work at Honda. I actually sell cars. I want to let you guys know how I feel about this, you know, actually selling cars, because a lot of people have been reading or watching this, watching videos on, I've been reading about all that good stuff, are from people that they don't sell cars, you know, they don't know anything about the automotive world. You know, they kind of grab the information from other people, and this person says this, and this person says that. I agree and disagree with markups. Let's start with the disagree. From some of you guys been shopping, you probably noticed that all the special cars, you know, got some markup on it. Some normal cars have markup on it, or maybe all cars have markup on it. Just want to give you guys a little disclaimer. Every dealership is not marking up cars, so you just got to do your research and find one that's not, if you want to pay MSRP. There's information out there saying that every dealership is doing it, and then I even see some videos saying don't buy from a dealership and all type of stuff like that. Don't make sense to me, right? What I disagree about markups is taking let's say like a dealership took a Civic, right? A sports Civic, base model now, LX are gone, and you mark up this base Civic by 5 to 10 grand. That makes no sense to me. In my mind, it makes no sense to me. Taking these normal, you know, kind of everyday cars that everyone's gonna buy, you know, more people are gonna buy a sports Civic than a touring Civic, or more people are gonna buy a sports Civic than an SI, you know, because these are the kind of fully loaded cars, performance special cars. For the regular percentage that needs a car just to go to A to B and don't really care about features and stuff like that, they just want a new car and need a car. I feel like those cars, if they are marked up $1,000, maybe is okay, but MSRP is fine as well. But like a Corolla or a Nissan Sentra or like a Versa, or like, you know, like these cars are supposed to be affordable, lower priced cars, you know, Hyundai Elantras, Ascents and stuff like that. I don't agree with these regular normal cars, or like a base model CRV, a base model RAV4, or even a fully loaded RAV4. You know, like I feel like those cars shouldn't be marked up, or if they are, no more than $1,000. That's my opinion, because this is the everyday car that, you know, everybody's mostly gonna buy, you know, like a Santa Fe, you know, stuff like that. But when it comes to the SIs and the Type Rs and the, you know, the Elantra Ns and all these more performance based vehicles that's based off of the normal version, and if a dealership is not gonna get, I guess, a bunch of them throughout the year, then it makes sense for those cars to be marked up, because, you know, your dealerships are going from selling 300 cars a month to maybe selling 100 cars a month, you know, and that cash flow difference, I mean, that's a big deal, you know, especially if you're used to having about 150 employees and you're paying them, and then now you're using, you know, these cars help fund the dealership and fund employees and fund everybody, like the whole profit of these cars is how everyone get paid, pretty much. I mean, that's just how it works. This country is based off of profit. You know? Before the whole C word happened, we got SIs, like 2 or 3 of them every 3 or 4 months or something like that. It's a low production car, you know? And cars like that make sense to be marked up, especially like 5 grand or something like that, because it's just not a car you're gonna always have. It's a special car. I feel like if you really want that, you know, then you gotta fight to go get that, you know? But then if you're just getting like a normal car that, you know, everyone's gonna get, you know, it's not really, they're not too special, you know. Special cars make sense. That's my opinion though. Another thing I dislike about the markups, actually, this is not even a markup thing, it's just a dealership thing. I've had customers tell me that they had a deposit on a car and the dealership sold it to somebody else. Like, that's just mind blowing. Like, if you have money, you know, someone gave you money to hold a car for them, and you sell it to someone else because either they paid more for it or whatever, that's crazy. That's crazy. You know, I've never done that. I would probably never do that because that's just, somebody do it to me, I'll be heated. Now, this is 50-50. The people that had deposits on the car, like the Broncos, for example, waited like a year, and then because of the shortage, they added markup after the fact. I don't even know about that because from the dealership perspective, if their costs went higher, you know, and you agreed to pricing that was lower before, and now, you know, you agreed to pricing before the car was even built, and now the cost is higher. I get why they would, you know, like, hey, by the way, there's a markup on the car now because who knew this was gonna happen? And especially if they would have kept it at the price that you guys agreed to, and it was at a loss or you were losing money. Like I said, dealerships nowadays, they don't want to lose money. I don't think anybody wants to lose money. Like anyone with a business right now, I don't care if you do bakery, you're an artist, or whatever you do, you're not in the business to lose money. You're just not. And I know you're not going to always make money either because the world's not perfect. But, you know, that's a weird situation to be in. You know, you put a deposit on the car. I mean, if they were like, hey, it's $1,000 more, like let's say the MSRP changed. Let's say you order a car, it took a year to come in, and then obviously the car's gonna be more, so that makes sense. But it's the people that the car went up $5,000, $10,000. If it was me, I'm just like, I don't want the car no more. You know, like that's just me though. If the MSRP changed to like $500, $1,000, then that's, you know, that makes sense because it's a whole another year. Like you thought you were gonna pay last year's thing for this new car, you know, that don't make sense. And things gotta make sense to sell you something. If it doesn't make sense, then the dealership is not gonna sell it to you. That's just what it is. Especially in the market. The market changes all the time. And I know a lot of people don't believe in the market. They're like, whatever, I could care less. But the market kind of drives everything. You know, that's where pricing comes from. Pricing comes from the market. Now let's get into the special cars. You know, like a Type R. I did see some dealerships selling Type Rs $20,000 over the MSRP. Makes no sense to me. You know, like spending $80,000 on a Type R is just nuts. Now, the only people that's gonna buy that car are people that kind of don't care. You know, they're like, hey, I got money, I want a Type R, just gonna buy it. Even though I know I mentioned that, you know, it's crazy paying $80,000 for a Type R. If the market says Type Rs are $80,000, then that's what people are gonna price them for. I know the used market on them is crazy. And yeah, a new Type R is probably almost the same price as a new one. But the new one, it really varies per dealership. So every dealership's not gonna sell a Type R for $8,000. Like I said, please do your research. Stop listening to people on the internet and do your own research. Like people need to do their own research because you're just uninformed. And when you assume, you miss out. You know, there's a lot of opportunities you're missing out because like you're hindering your own car buying experience because you're not doing research. Do research. You have the internet. You know, this is not like 50 years ago where you couldn't type something in, you know. Do research, but don't just watch a YouTube video or a TikTok or Instagram reel and it's this person that never sold a car in their life and they're trying to teach you how to sell cars. Just do your own research or go see a professional. See someone like me and we will put you on. We will show you what everything is like and what is going on. You know, like I know there's some shady people out there. There's some shady salespeople out there. Some of them have that same mindset they like salespeople had back in, you know, years ago, and you can figure it out though. You can figure out who's shady, who's not shady. Like just go off of vibes. Like don't be clueless. Like when you talk to someone, you can sense if they're a good person or not. Like you can feel it. You know, like I mean, if you can't feel that, I feel bad for you. I feel bad for you because that inner intuition comes hand to hand. It's handy. And I don't know how you go through life ignoring your inner intuition or you can't feel it. That's a whole nother topic. We might even get into that. The consumer does predict the market. You know, however the market is, it is based on the consumers. If everyone stopped buying cars right now and there's no markup, then obviously it'll change the whole world. Markups may even go away. But markups, it's not a thing that's new. You know, like exotic cars and luxury cars have been doing this forever, you know, like Porsches and McLarens and Lambos, all these other, they've had markup forever, you know, before the C word. But now it's becoming in the mainstream thing and people are getting heated, people are angry. You know, I've seen people just You know, they want to end dealerships. So like a good example, Tesla. You know, Tesla sells directly from the manufacturer to the public. So there's like no dealerships between Tesla and the customer. And everyone wants buying cars to go that route or just online only. The problem with that is because you still can negotiate. You know, you always could negotiate with a dealership, you know, and it's up to the dealership to, you know, like no or yes, you know, right? It's their car, they bought it, they're reselling it, and they can sell it for whatever they want. They bought the car. You know, it's like if you sell anything on Facebook Market, you bought it originally, now you're reselling it, and you have a price you want for it. Either someone will negotiate with you and you sell it to their price, or you stick to your price, or whatever, right? Same thing. The problem with buying directly from a manufacturer is you will never ever get to negotiate. Like, let's say Honda just got rid of dealerships and you buy directly from Honda. Whatever Honda says the price of cars, that's what it's gonna be, you know? So with a dealership, at least you would be able to get like savings and stuff like that. But if it was the other way around where there's no dealerships involved, the price, it is what it is. Even though today's the price is more than MSRP, but you know, it won't be like this forever. You know, obviously it's a world pandemic thing, and it's with everything, materials, labor. So I buy a house right now. A house, you know, nowadays, if you buy a house today, that house probably cost like 40 grand less a year ago, you know. So not just with cars, it's with everything. But this video is all about cars, so let's focus on that. And I'll say that's probably the two things I disagree with the markup, because it makes sense, especially since I'm a sales consultant, so I'm on the other side than a consumer, but I'm still a consumer because if I didn't need to go buy a car, you know, I'm a customer, you know. But markups make sense to me because it's always been around. This is nothing new. It's new to the public eye, and I feel like some dealerships is losing their mind, you know, like they're selling some of these cars, you know, like 20 grand markup, 30 grand for it. Like the Proto Z that came out, I heard it was like 30 grand markup on there or something like that. You know, it's crazy. Or the Corolla GR, like those cars, even though that sounds crazy, I mean, it is what it is. You know, as a dealership, like I was saying before, if you can get one or two of these cars per year, you know, you need to get your money. You need to get your money's worth. You know, you're not getting enough cars as you used to, anyways. Like you gotta make it work. Like you guys gotta think of it from a business standpoint. You know, like the manufacturers are not really hurting, but the dealerships actually getting hurt more because we don't have 300 cars in a lot. You can browse around and walk around and choose a car. So most people don't want to buy a car that way. So if they go to a lot and there's no cars there, but then next door the other brand has a car, they're more likely gonna buy that car, or you're most likely going to buy a brand that you never even thought you were going to buy or even like, but since the car is available, it's going to be there. So it's a double-edged sword, but you're still kind of confused of why the markets don't make sense. Here's another thing, like I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max, right? This thing is the 256 gig version, I think, or is it a 512? I think it's 512, whatever. Anyways, it's like $1,200. It probably cost Apple nowhere near $1,200 to build this thing, but they make a profit. You know, like this Nike hoodie I have on. You know, you think it costs Nike, I don't even know how much it costs, like $60 or whatever to make this thing. You know, it's probably nowhere even near that to make this business. They're there to make profit. The food in your fridge, you know, the phone you're watching this on, the TV you watch this on. Everything has markup. Everything has profit, right? And I know there's a lot of people out there that's, you know, they tell themselves they don't pay MSRP or they don't pay full pricing or listen price anywhere. And those people, I feel like every family has someone that's like that, you know. I'm a type of person where I do my research. If I like what you got, if I like your product, I'm gonna go and buy it. You know, like if there's like savings and discounts or whatever, that's fine. But I'm not gonna put someone in the headlock like, yo, you have to drop that price right now. You know, like I don't need it that bad. You know, like I feel like if I see potential in your product, I will invest my money and time into it, especially if you take care of me. You know, like if you take care of me, I take care of you. That's kind of how it is. But there's some people out there where everything gotta be free. And that's okay. You know, it's like, we're all not gonna be the same people. You know, we're all gonna be different. But those people that think everything's gonna be free, you know, you go to a dealership nowadays, it's really rare to find a car for MSRP anymore. I'm not saying that there isn't. You will find one if you do your research, but it's pretty rare. So it's kind of how life is right now. The only bad thing I think that's going on with this whole how the economy is and not having cars and stuff like that is, if you want a car tomorrow, chances are it won't happen. You know, like if you total your car and you need to replace it because this car you need to get to work, or you're an Uber driver, and just, you know, nowadays cars pretty much pay bills. Right? You need a car, right? Especially if you live in New Mexico. Like out here, you have to have a car. When I lived in New York, you don't need a car, right? So places like New Mexico that depend on cars, you can't really just replace a car tomorrow because the dealerships most likely won't have any car in the lot, and that's another reason why there's markup on cars. Like, can you imagine, you know, you have this business where you have 300 cars on the lot, 400 cars, and now you have 5 every month, no more than 20. You know, like you're not making the same amount of money as you used to. Now, I'm not trying to say dealerships are just not gonna make any money. They're gonna make money. Like it's a business. You have to make money. Like you can't have a business that don't make money. That don't make no sense. Now, are there gonna be some losses? Of course, there's gonna be some losses, but in today's day and age, you know, you just can't have a business that you don't make any profit. It just doesn't make sense. Now, I know I might have those people that's the generation before me. Like I said, they always talk down the price, get the price at invoice, all that good stuff. If you can get a dealership to sell you a car at invoice today's market, you know, kudos to you. But just, you know, kind of being realistic, you know, most likely you're paying over MSRP or at MSRP. And even if you pay at MSRP, like I'm gonna give Honda as an example. Honda philosophy is they don't want to undercut the customer, and they've always been that way. So what the price that the dealership pay for the car versus the MSRP is usually really close. So, and if anyone's watching this, you're on Honda sales, you know what I'm talking about. Like you don't make thousands of dollars selling Hondas. Like that's never the case. Even before the whole C word happened, you know, I know most salespeople, you know, some people get offended when they don't offer $1,000, $5,000, $6,000. Because I know with domestics like Ford and Chevy and all these other places, they had these rebates and stuff like that, and they were able to drop the price $5,000, $4,000. I'll be watching these people that try to teach you how to buy a car, and they'll say things like, "Oh, don't let the dealership know this," or "Don't let the salesperson know this," or "Don't bring the car you're trading in." And it's very ironic because a lot of customers do complain that it takes too long to buy a car. Most of the time, it takes long to buy a car, not because of the salesperson or the dealership, because of you. You know, like you taking forever. Like you didn't bring the car you want to trade in. You know, you're not giving no information. You know, you're not being honest. You know, and it's because these people on YouTube never sold a car in their life. I guess they think they're like car gurus or whatever, and they, you know, they give these hints and tips and tricks. And this is what's gonna happen. There's one Civic available, right? You watch these videos say, "Oh, wait to, you know, go back and forth with the salesperson or do this or do that." You wait all this time, and by the time, you know, you can buy this car, there was 10 other people waiting to buy this car too. And one person was like, "Ooh, I'm looking for a Civic. Ooh, it's MSRP. I'm buying it," you know? And you lose out on the vehicle. You know, it's not like 10 years ago where there's like, you know, 30 of the same car. So of course there's not really no rush because, yeah, the dealership have the same car. But nowadays, you gotta jump on cars before they're gone, or put a deposit before you have to wait too long, you know? So don't waste salespeople time, you know, like sales consultant, we don't have the easiest job in the world. We spend a lot of hours, you know. I mean, if you're good at your job, you can make a lot of money. That's the benefit of it. But you do kind of, you throw away a lot of stuff. You throw away time. You're always at a dealership. Customers always come first. So even on your days off, you're talking to customers. On your break, you're talking to customers. You're not on the shift, you're talking to customers, you know, because you're like a contractor almost. So, you know, when you're like an entrepreneurship, you know, like really, your job is 24 hours. Then a 9 to 5. So because of that, you know, don't waste the salesperson time. Also, use the phone, call. I know a lot of people see what's going on in this world, but don't believe it. So they go in and say, "Hey, you know, I want this car at invoice, or I want 5,000 off, or you're not gonna sell me the car," you know. And dealerships are not obligated to sell you a car. You gotta remember that. Some people, I guess, believe that they have the right to be able to buy the car at whatever price they want, you know. And when you're buying a product from someone, you know, it's up to the seller to decide if they don't have to sell it to you. They can decide if they don't want to sell it to you or not. But like I said, what you're gonna run into is that there's not enough cars. Or let's say there's a car that's coming in, it's one of that one car, one color. Chances are there's 10 people on the same car. I'm like I said, this is from experience. I'm telling you, you need to jump on. If you can find a car at MSRP, you need to buy it and jump on it, because you're less likely to be upside down if you can buy the MSRP or if you pay like 5-10 grand over. But if the car you're buying is a special car, it's a one-off car, even if you pay 5 grand over or whatever, you may still have equity down the road because the market for trading is so high. Like some people could buy a new car MSRP, sell it the next week for more than what they paid for it. And then that's a whole nother story with used cars. So because there's no new cars, used cars in higher demand. So since used cars in higher demand, trading is higher for used cars. So since trading is higher, retail price is even higher for used cars. So like a lot of people don't understand why a 1-year-old car can cost more than a new car. It's because you can buy that car new, MSRP, sell it for more. And some people take advantage of that. And that's another reason why some dealerships are marking up cars, because customers are taking advantage of dealerships and buying these cars at MSRPs and just sell it and make money off of it. And then now someone who says, oh, I won't buy from a dealership, they buy from someone for Facebook, or like, you have like the Carvanas and the CarMax and stuff. Like these online cars, I know it's convenience that you're paying for, but if you look at the prices, sometimes you're paying a lot more than you would have at a dealership. Same thing with a private party. Some people are selling these cars, no warranty, no maintenance, no nothing, for the same price, or like $1,000, $2,000 less than a dealership will sell that car for. And I'm not trying to defend a dealership because I work at a dealership, or because I'm a salesperson. I'm just trying to make it make sense in everyone's eyes. Every dealership is not, out to get you. Most of them are there to help you out. They help there to protect you. Especially if you run someone like me. I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna make sure you're in good hands. You buy a car from me, I'm gonna take care of you. You don't gotta worry about nothing. I'm gonna put you on my past few videos. I did a lot of car reviews. A lot of people would message me, write me, saying how, I helped out with breaking down the cars or showing the trim levels. That's what I'm here for. And I'm making this video for the people out there that's, is very angry about this whole markup stuff. And I just want you guys to know that. I'm not trying to say that, just deal with it, but you just gotta come to realization that there's a reason for it. Everything's marked up nowadays. Everything, food, clothes, you name it, everything. And like I said, I don't agree with $80,000 for a Corolla. Like that just don't make sense to me. But I don't, like I said, every dealership is not just marking up cars that high. There's some that are, and there's some that are not. So just do your research. If you have one car, you told it you need a car tomorrow for bad fee, you're gonna have to get a used car or wait for a new car. It is what it is. Will things change? Will things go back to how it was before 2020? It's hard to tell because manufacturers are making a lot of money, and by dealerships not having a lot of cars. So who knows? They may say, hey, you know what? Let's just not building more cars anymore because we're making more money. If they did go that route, is now if another manufacturer decided to make more cars than the other manufacturer, whoever has more cars available in the lot are going to sell more cars. So let's say, you want a Corolla, but Nissan has a Sentra, has way more Sentras in the lot than Corollas, because people are going to shop around. But yeah, one dealership has one Corolla, then the dealership down the street has 10 Sentras. Most likely, if you hate Sentra, you're probably still going to buy it because you need a car, Nowadays, people are just buying a car because they need one, don't care about the brand. What's available is available. So manufacturers think of it that way, then they may not go the route of, oh, let's build less cars. Only point is I have for you guys right now is if you find a car at MSRP, buy it. Like, especially if you've been shopping, everything's marked up, but you find MSRP, buy it. If you try to get it below MSRP, you're gonna lose the car. That's what, like, don't even waste your time. Like, you're gonna lose the car. This topic has been on my head for so long, and I've been wanting to put into a video, but just never had the time to. But since, I'm home, don't got work, sick, actually get a little bit better. Figure I recorded to make this. I know it's a lot harder now than it was, especially finding a car. Especially if you're trying to buy a car for Christmas, it's way too late. You should have ordered it like 6 months ago or something like that. But then again, I am talking from like a New Mexico's, market. Who knows? Maybe Texas and California, New York, these bigger states may have a lot of cars on the lot. I know here we don't got nada, so and it's been like that for like 2 years. But thank you guys for watching. I will catch you guys in the next video.